One time when I was real little, I was like, I figured out how to like climb to the front and honk the horn. I was honking at
Oh,
people
you'd
when
have
we
been
were on the
so annoying.
ball.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Public Property with me, Monroe Martin. We got Rob Haze on this episode. If you don't know him, then you should. He's an actor, he's a comedian, he's a writer, he's phenomenal at all of those. You've seen him on Comedy Central. He's written for the ESPYs and Sherman Showcase. But before we get into this episode, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, subscribe to the Patreon, or buy some of our beautiful merch. We got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, cups, whatever you need. All right, let's start the episode. Rob, thank you for doing the podcast, man. I really appreciate you being here. What game are we about to play?
We're playing some form of spades, some form of old timey white men spades.
Did you grow up playing spades? This ain't the way you grew up playing spades?
No, I grew up playing spades at the lunch table, very high stakes in Atlanta.
I bet five, yo.
You don't got five. I'm gonna tell you.
You don't know if I got five.
No, I
You don't know if I got five.
Unless my partner's just crazy, you don't got five.
All right, you don't think I got five, but watch me pull out something.
You don't have that one.
I don't have that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so you grew up playing spades? Wait, first of all, where are you from, Rob?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Born and raised? You didn't live no other place? You're not like an army brat, nothing?
No, not an army brat. I did have like a little stint where I lived in near Orlando, Florida, Lake Mary, from when I was like 1 to when I was like 7. But then it's pretty much Atlanta after that.
So you like Atlanta influenced everything. It influenced your entire life. Like, did you grow up? What part of Atlanta are you from? Because I went to Atlanta twice, and I never seen the part of Atlanta that everybody talks about.
What do you mean?
Like the turn up Atlanta. As many times I've been to Atlanta, I've only been to like
How did you miss the turn up?
I don't know. I missed the goddamn turn up in Atlanta. I went to the Comedy Theater, and that's like deep out in the suburbs.
First of all, the Atlanta Comedy Theater is not in Atlanta. It is.
It's not.
It is branding. No, that is as far north. Yeah, that's Jimmy Carter. Like, it's north of the city. Like, if you notice, Young Jeezy never says the north side. He always says east side, west side, south side, and then it's like the chorus is over. Oh, we didn't have enough time. Yeah. He don't ever bring up the north side.
So I haven't been going to the real part of Atlanta. Where's the Laughing Devil or the
Laughing Skull is in Midtown. That's kind of a super progressive, super a lot of gay clubs in that area. There's a gay club like across the street from the Laughing Skull. You probably heard people making jokes about called Bulldogs. But there's so much to do. There's like Edgewood and Little 5 Points. You kind of got your more hipster scene, and then Peter Street. You might have your like old dudes wearing sandals. There's a ton of clubs like in Midtown, like on Crescent, that area that's like more of your traditional turn up and stuff. There's like a ton of different stuff going on at one time. Like you have Magic City, you have
you went to Magic City before?
Of course.
Look,
it's like not everybody. Way more social. It's way more social than other strip clubs. Like in Atlanta, like you could go with a group of girls to the strip club and it's not even like a thing.
Oh, that's not
Yeah,
how it
it's
is growing up in Philly. If you went to
it,
a strip club in Philly, you went to Skeevy McSkeeves, as Chris and you know what a Skeevy McSkeeve is?
no, that sounds like a nickname for somebody that's up to something
So
terrible.
basic, but I got one book. I got one goddamn book.
Yeah, you thought you had five. When my partner said that he had four, I was
Yeah,
like, "There's no way," because I know, like, I'm getting out of hearts early. I got multiple aces. Yeah,
yeah. So a Skeevy McSkeeve. Let's say there's a strip club that was in. There was a strip club in Philly called Night on Broadway. And when I say strip club, I'm using that word loosely. It was like a basement where the lights was off and maybe like one red light you couldn't even see in front of you. And the lap dances was they was fucking basically. So if you
that's
went
crazy.
there, yeah, it wasn't even a lap. It was just like, yo, pull that dick out. That's how they were coming up to you. I never went because I'm not about that life. But I'm not about that life. I'm not about that strip club life. I thought I was, and then a stripper broke my homie phone. I had two phones broke. Well, I had a phone broke, and then the stripper took my homie's phone and like tried to run off with it.
I mean, like Atlanta's more than just strip clubs, though. There's a ton of actual clubs. There's actual like a club scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it's it's I don't know. It's just a
What
part of the
age were
culture.
you able to go at? What was the first time? First of all, did you grow up with both of your parents in your life?
I grew up with both of my parents in my life. My parents got divorced when I was in high school. So for the most
Mm.
part, I had most both my parents in my life. Um,
What age did you like? Did that have an effect on your behavior? Like when they divorced and you were in high school, like did your behavior change? Were you like a bad kid after that?
Not really. I mean, if anything, it was more like okay, like I might need a scholarship. Like I might need to I might need to straighten up.
You was like, oh, this dual income shit. It
Yeah,
ain't
yeah. It's
the
like I kind of got more of a glimpse into my parents' finances after that. Um, I mean, like more so, my father got this job when I was in eighth grade, where he started traveling the country,
Mhm.
and so he was only kind of home on the weekends. So
Yeah,
them getting a divorce wasn't that big of a change because uh like the drastic change kind of already was happening. What are you
yeah.
doing?
Who, me?
Yeah,
What you mean? What am I doing?
you could have won that book.
You can see my hand.
I've seen what you're playing. I'm
Ah,
playing the game.
how you see? You can see my hands.
I can't see the cards before you play them, but I can
Oh,
see the cards that you choose to play.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Like Fareed just cut,
Yeah.
so yeah.
All right, but look, I think I'm gonna win this one.
All right, yeah,
Nope,
you
I ain't
got
gonna
that.
win. I won that one. What
That
else?
was
I think I'm
actually
gonna win this
solid.
one. I think I'm gonna get
Hmm.
my books
I
though.
think
I think I'm gonna hit every book that I
you don't need your books. Your partner already got you, but get those bags.
get those back. Look at that. I got my fucking bid, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
What's up?
Now you
Wait,
guys got a bag.
so I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you based off of this divorce. First, what age did you start going to strip clubs? The strip clubs if strip clubs was so normalized and you can just hang out with a chick at a strip club, when did you start going?
Not really till I was like 21. Like I looked so young that
Hmm.
there was no way that somebody was just gonna let me in early.
Yeah.
Um, but we had like there was a strip club that lost their liquor license and they became a teen club.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a teen club that had like stripper poles and like
Oh, we had that
and they
shit
would like
too.
sell soda and like have teenage parties and stuff. But
Yo, how'd you feel going to those clubs? We used to go to 923. That was the one that was called here. It was called 923. It was a teen. It started at teens, but it was teen plus. So you can get in if you were like you can get in there at 16, but also they didn't have a cutoff. So if you was fucking 45, you can walk up in that joint. And
that's
trust me,
nasty.
it's
That's
disgusting.
nasty.
You know how many goddamn you be playing because like as a 16-year-old, you in the club, you gotta build your confidence up to go talk to a girl, and by the time you walk over there, there's a grown ass man already buying her juice. You're like, nigga, can I buy
Also,
some juice?
there's no grown women that are going to teen plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like once you are like able to get in the adult club as a girl, that's where
Yeah.
you're going,
Yeah.
regardless of what age you are. So the
Yeah.
only women at teen plus are the teens, and then the only plus are the guys, and then like
Hmm.
yeah, the
Yeah, no,
teen
it was very
guys just
disgusting.
gotta find the chips where they fall.
Yeah, no, we definitely like I ain't never seen a grown ass woman in 923, but I seen some grown ass men. It wasn't like that in the places you went.
No, no, because they weren't having that. I don't know. They weren't like also grown. I don't know. I guess there were. I mean, there were grown men that probably were like messing with high schoolers and stuff, but they weren't going to the club with them. Like, yeah,
Mm.
they weren't going to meet high schoolers. They didn't have places where they could mingle. You know.
So did your parents let you go to club? Like, so you started going to a strip club at 21, but did you start like when did your parents trust you to the point where you could start going out and staying out late, or did you just take that liberty on your own?
I never I never had a curfew, but also my parents weren't like I don't know. I
Strict.
didn't have a lot of people that wanted me to be outside like that. Like
Wait, did you
um
grow up in the hood or you grew up in like a suburban area?
um I would say that there's a in between. I would say that there's a gray area. Like I think,
Hmm.
you know, what some people would determine the suburbs is, you know, technically where I grew up in
Hmm.
Atlanta, but also uh it's very different than what a lot of people think of when they think of suburban culture. Um
Mm.
cuz
Can you
yeah.
explain though?
Yeah, just like like proximity. Like I think, you know, suburbs are normally, you know, very far from certain areas in Atlanta.
Hmm.
Those lines blur really quickly. Um and then also like we don't have like the paved roads and the you know, where I grew up there wasn't
Yeah, you focusing. I'm getting. Am I getting a little better though? Am I getting a little better in
I
this
mean, you
game?
haven't messed up. Also, I don't think this
Okay.
game allows you to mess up.
Okay.
So you're doing all right.
All
Um,
right. So, did
at
you
this
have a
point,
lot of
I'm trying
freedom
to
growing
avoid
up?
bags. Yeah, I had a lot of freedom, but also like nowhere to spend it. Like
Mm.
yeah, I didn't have a curfew. I didn't have, you know, like a lot of strict rules. You know, I free cell phone nights and weekends. I could use my phone as I please, but
And you're not the only child, are you?
no, no. My sister is super popular. Yeah, I was definitely in her shadow at the time. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, when I think of where I grew up, I don't think of it as the suburbs, though. Like, I
Mm.
mean, and part of
Would
the
you
time
say
I
hood
was
adjacent?
technically in the city of Atlanta. Yeah, no, hood adjacent is pretty accurate.
Mm. Did you find yourself like as a kid, where did you have to be like a grown up? Like, did you find yourself like taking on adult responsibilities? Like, were you like cooking and all that stuff?
Mm, a little bit, but it wasn't out of necessity. It was more just like my parents were like, we grew up doing these things, so you're gonna do these things. And then
Yo, I'm getting good though,
also,
right? Like our score stinks, but like you blowing us the fuck out. But I'm getting good though.
yeah, yeah, you doing all right.
It's 45 to 184 people. That's what the
Also, they
score
got
is.
more bags, which means that those are books that they could have bid accurately and they didn't.
All right, look. Did you grow up in a religious family?
Pretty religious. Grew up Catholic, which is very rare. There's not a lot of Black Catholics in
Mm-mm.
Atlanta,
I don't think there are a lot
especially
of black
compared
Catholics
to.
in general.
I think in the Midwest there's way more. I think it's not as rare in Chicago. Um, but yeah, in Atlanta it was like being an alien. Like they other kids would go to church and
Mm-hmm.
like part of what they would hear is somebody preaching anti-Catholicism, and
Mm.
then meanwhile our church would let out like after an hour, and we'd be at home watching Michael Vick.
Oh shit! Hold on. I got two options. I did good. That was good.
Yeah, that was good. You
All
did the right
right.
thing.
I did the right thing. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Boom. That's us. You know what song
So
you were
far enough.
conceived to? Like, did not
What
song, but
song?
dude, what genre of music you were conceived to?
Probably R&B. I mean, my dad's like funk music. My mom's soul music. I imagine where they meet is like R&B. Especially, I was born in the late '80s, so uh, possibly Bobby Brown, possibly. But yeah, I don't know. Possibly Keith Sweat. Who knows?
Wait, how old are you if you're a kid? You can't be conceived to no Keith Sweat.
Why
We the
not?
same age. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Shit. How? When did Keith Sweat?
Make It Last Forever came out in '87.
I thought it
It
was in the 90s. I thought that song came out in like 90 something.
No, the Make It Last Forever album is '87.
Mmm.
It's ahead of its time.
It's
It's
very
like
ahead of his time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Aren't you
It's
like a
Teddy
music buff
Riley.
too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Teddy Riley's produced that. That's before Guy, but my I know my parents had all those Guy albums and stuff. So yeah, I was probably conceived
So some
with
R&B. Fuck, my hands
May
stink.
-4. What is that? August of '87. So yeah, probably keep sweat.
Then, yeah, it's probably that song. You're the only person that named the song. Most people just say the genre. Like, I don't want to interrupt. Like, I'm like, you on to something. He
Something off that
pinpointed the
album. It might have
song.
been writing the wrong way. It might have been, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what the song was? But yeah.
Wait, shit. I'm losing that one. So I'm
What a
gonna go
funny
this one.
question.
Yeah, some people don't know. Like if anything, I was probably conceived to funk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's funk. My mom loves funk. She loves funk, R and
Like
B.
what like Earth, Wind and Fire, like Zap. Like
I think more so Earth, Wind,
Parliament.
and Fire. I think Earth, Wind, and Fire and Parliament, and maybe what's that John that Teddy Pendergrass was a part of?
Um,
She
Harold
loves Teddy.
Melvin and the Blue Notes.
She loves Teddy P. So I'm probably was conceived of Teddy P.
That's
My
so funny.
dad, yo, my dad is like tall like Teddy and all that stuff. So if
Yeah,
anything, my mom just probably found a dude that she that resembled Teddy Pendergrass and then just like had her way with him. Like I'm just
crazy.
going through her mind. My mom is that type of person. My mom is like, ooh, I like him. He got hair like blase blah. He got hair like this. And then she'll talk to that person because like I'd seen my mom hit on men when I was younger. So I
Wow.
know her type. You didn't get to see your mom be single? Like, did she get married right after the divorce?
No, no. My dad was her second marriage. So
Oh.
yeah, she was like ready to just chill and raise her kids after the divorce. Yeah.
So you didn't have to deal with none of that mommy dating another dude type stuff?
A little bit now. She's got a quote unquote friend now. You know, like older people they don't have relationships. They just
They
have their
got friends.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She went on Facebook like, yeah, I'd like to wish my little friend happy birthday. It's like, all right, we know what's going on.
You gotta earn that. You gotta earn that status again.
Yeah,
Not you, but they do. It's like,
they do. Yeah,
yeah, it's like, yo, it's gonna take a lot for you to get out of friend zone.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I seen my mom going through her little, even though I wasn't raised by my mom, like I seen her go through her dating phase. Like depending on what house I was in,
Mm-hmm.
like somebody maybe like if she needed a ride, like most dudes, I said this on the last podcast. Like most dudes I've ever met, like when she was dating, I only seen them from like the window length. So like this part, they rarely got out of the car. So they were. I only know what they head and shoulders look like. I don't know if they were tall or not.
Man,
And they hand you $1. You ain't never went through that. You
no,
ain't never
I
have
ain't
to.
had to go through that at all. Now Farid went 5 and he got all his 5. You went 3.
I got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, so y'all got set.
Yeah, but we getting smoked. We got
What do we
negative
play? What are
35.
we playing to?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
I mean,
Yeah,
you,
nah, I'm trash.
the computer's doing well in your spot. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, nah, the computer's killing it.
Don't think CPU for read is the problem.
It's me. It's real life Monroe. That's the problem. What age were you allowed to like? What age did you start drinking alcohol? And what was like? Who was the first person to give it to you?
I really didn't have any parameters on that. I don't know. My parents, I feel like they grew up in a time where they were just like they didn't want like they rather me not drink and drive, but like I also didn't have a license till I was
Mm-hmm.
19. I really didn't start drinking till college. I went to University of Georgia and started drinking at parties out there.
Mm.
Athens.
Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, a little
Then they gave
college
you.
town.
She seems like perfect ass parents, yo. They're like, look, do what you want. Just don't put yourself in harm's way. Were they
Yeah.
older? Were they when they had you? Were they? Do you have older parents?
My parents were 9 years apart. So yeah, my mom older than my father.
No, I'm asking. Like, did they have you when they're like late 20s, 30s? Like, how are they this
Well, that's what
mature
I'm
and this
saying. My
relaxed?
mom
Oh,
was in her late 30s and my
oh
father
shit,
was like entering his 30s.
yo. So you had the best upbringing. Are you like? What were your grades like in school? Because I got a theory that kids that were born to old parents are smarter than most kids?
I had decent grades.
What's decent? You gotta be modest.
I mean, okay, well, I had a slow start, so I didn't realize when you go to like you apply for college
Mm-hmm.
all year, they look at everything, you know.
Oh.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm thinking I got time. So like I just had maybe like just barely a B average freshman year,
Mm.
and then once I found out, oh, they look at your whole transcript, then I started like
Getting your shit together.
busting my butt, getting the A's, and yeah, I ended with like a average, but we had a numeric average,
Yeah.
so like my average ended up being like maybe a 90 or like 89 in there.
Mm. What was like your parents' approach to education and getting you to study? Were they like hands on? Were they sitting at the table with you, or were they smacking you in the back of your head until you got it right? Like, what was their approach to it?
My mom's a teacher, so I mean, education was very important. Um, but no smacking in the head. It was more just like I don't know, just do your work, do your stuff. But
You lucky. You very fortunate.
yeah,
You
I
are
guess
very
I guess I
fortunate.
really
Yeah.
didn't realize that. I guess I was just I don't know.
You know how many kids I grew up with that just homework was just they just sat at that table, got yelled and screamed at like the goddamn answer was just gonna magically appear.
Yeah,
You
no. I
are
mean, I hated homework though. Like if there was a class where the teacher had homework only be 10%, I would not do my
mhm.
homework. And I'd be like, this
But
this
your
teacher
mom
this
being
teacher
a teacher.
doesn't care about homework either. Like,
But wait, like your mom never stepped in. Like if you didn't care about home, if she's a teacher and she knows how important education is, and like why wouldn't like she never just leaned on you to be like a valid like just like top of your class?
no. And I think I could have if I would have had discipline, I
Mm-hmm.
think I could have had that in me.
Was your sister that way? Like, is your sister like an honor
No.
student? Mm.
I mean, she was a good student, but also she was like popular and like she played like sports. She cheerlead. She did whatever she wanted to do. She ran track. So yeah, she just like we were both super involved, well rounded. Like I was on the debate team. I was into that heavy. Um,
Like the great debaters? Is it really like that? Is it really like the great debaters
I've never seen the Great Debaters.
with Denzel Washington? That's
Yeah,
a
I
great
never
ass
seen it.
movie.
Yeah,
That's a great movie. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if policy debate has ever really been depicted in television. I feel
What
like I've
got you
seen it.
into debating?
Just I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the making up the speeches, in real time, and just
Mm.
and I'm a fan of arguing. Like that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
But
that what
with people who make sound points, like I don't like arguing with someone who's just gonna like be ridiculous. But I do like applying logic to things that don't necessarily have logic.
is that what brought you to comedy?
A little bit, a little bit. Like one of the few places I could see some of the stuff that we would talk about in debate is tough crowd. So
Mm.
some of the topics that like Greg Giraldo and Colin Quinn and stuff would get into would be the stuff that we would be going over in debate, and
Yeah.
then through that, seeing Patrice just be amazing, and then I just became like a little comedy nerd from that.
How'd your parents like handle you getting into comedy? Did you tell them?
I thought they were gonna be against it. Like I started as I did a pageant. The AKAs at our school had a Mr. Esquire pageant, and
Mm-hmm.
I made my talent stand up because I really just didn't have
You
like
didn't
a
prepare
secret
shit.
talent.
Yeah.
And then I did impressions.
What was the
Um,
impression you did?
I
You
did
remember?
like Cat Williams. I did Chris Rock. I
I
did
think I heard you do Cat Williams though.
maybe
Like dicking around during the joke. I
yeah,
think I heard you do Cat Williams.
not on stage though.
I'm I think so. You never done it
No,
on stage?
not
Not even
not
fucking around?
not in New York. By the time I was visiting New York, I was so anti doing another comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put so much rules on comedy that don't exist.
Yo, thank you. Can you explain that?
Like
Because I went through the same shit.
I put so many because I always felt like you had to follow certain rules in order to get stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I always was like, don't wear shorts. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Don't wear shorts if you don't got the legs for it. I
don't wear
can't wear
shorts.
shorts on stage. I got my ankles are like this small, yo. I got tiny ass ankles. And you know how big I am, how big and tall I am. So I wear pants to cover up these fucking deer ankles.
um, there's certain things like I would never reference a movie, a movie scene like as a simile or something. I would always like be like, all right, you gotta, you know,
You got to do the joke portion
create.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then it was like after a while it was like, all right, don't use music, don't you, like
Yeah.
all the pitfalls that could prevent you from taping,
Yeah.
but
I
then
mean,
after a
those are good
while,
rules.
yeah.
Yeah. Minus the
Um
thing. But go ahead.
and and then I didn't curse on stage for like a long time, just to add ankle weights.
Wait. I just thought you didn't curse in life. I ain't really heard you curse in life.
I don't know. I feel like I cursed in life. I'll curse at a diner or something, and then
I ain't never heard Rob Hayes curse. I promise you.
I'm not at a concert and just singing the edited version.
All right. So I didn't know the clean thing was a choice. I just thought that was how you were raised. Because I remember we had you on No Need and you didn't curse or anything. You didn't even curse during the interview.
Right, but I don't. I mean, it was like if it was like a thing where I needed to quote something or something,
Hmm.
then I probably would have.
I thought it was like a religious thing or something about your parent or like a parents thing. Because Derek was like that. Derek did not curse for like a good portion of his career because he was a church kid and his mom was coming to the shows and he didn't ever want to change the set in front of his mom.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that
so
why?
I just
But she got a fat butt though.
yeah.
Would it have been different?
Oh. So I
Oh,
just
that's
assume
crazy.
everybody like that. I just assume everyone does the same shit. Like when they
I
don't curse, they're
mean,
like, Nana may be here.
I I think when my parents were financing me doing comedy indirectly,
Mm-hmm.
that might have been a thing where I didn't want to have a conversation about what I was doing with my art. So I just you know that might have been there, but there was never a discussion. There was never like, hey, you know, you don't need to be cursing out there. And then subject matter wise, I would go wherever. You
Yeah.
know, when 50 Shades of Grey was out, I was talking about it. When uh I if I had ideas that were a little more racy, I would get into it. I just wouldn't use curse words, but
Mm.
it was more just to have variety of language. I don't know, like also doing
Well,
comedy in
you're a
Atlanta.
strong writer because of it, though. All the stipulations you've given yourself, you're like one of that. Like when, like everybody has a couple of comics that they like watching when they come in the room, and you're one of those comics. Like when you on stage, I'm like, let me see what Rob Hayes got to talk about, because you do this thing where you can take some overlooked shit or some shit that we just see every day, and then just start pulling it apart. And I like that make it feel like you're actually doing it in that moment. And you know, some comics they prepare it that way, but you can be like,
Yeah,
you've done this set like 1,000 times. Like your shit, I can hear it and I can't tell if how many times you've done it. Because you always make it seem like
man.
you're just discovering it. And like and that's like one of when I used to take acting classes and shit. That was like one of the main thing they tried to get all the actors to discover is like, yo, when you say this shit, you got to say it as if it's coming to your mind. Like everybody doesn't really have like when you sit down and you think about something, and then when you say something that just come to your mind, it's two different emotions. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's a bunch of
yeah.
shit, and that's how I feel like you do.
I try to think of it as like the fun when I've seen people be funny at a party or see people be funny
Mm-hmm.
just in real life. They just kind of, even if they get on a soapbox or some familiar territory, they still got to bring that energy to it because they know they're around people that are hearing it for the first time. Like
Yeah.
I even noticed like people like Stephen A. Smith does that. Like he'll say the same thing, all week long, but
Mm-hmm.
he's got to bring that energy to it because, if not, then you could just watch yesterday's episode.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yo,
Also, New
go
York,
ahead.
I always felt like I put New York on such a high pedestal. So when I was doing stand up there, I always felt like the whole point of us doing these bar shows and
Mm-hmm.
like little rooms and stuff is to be able to get our stuff off. And I always admired how the comics that lived there were able to get their jokes off.
Yeah. Yo. All right. We just get ask you another question about your childhood. Did you have like those type of parents that would leave you in a car? Like would they leave you
uh
in a car if you was asleep? If you was asleep as a little kid, would they
they'd
wake
leave
you
me
up
in the
or would it
car.
they would just leave you in the damn car? Like was it a certain temperature that they
I
would
mean,
like
like
that
in
they'd be like,
Florida,
nah.
it was hot, so like it would always be window cracked. There'd always be a story on TV of some kid that died because they got left in the car too long and stuff. Um, but yeah, no. I remember, yeah, one time when I was real little, I was like, I figured out how to like climb to the front and honk the horn. I was honking at
Oh,
people
you'd
when
have
they
been
would like
so
walk
annoying.
by.
You'd have been
I got
so
in big
annoying.
trouble for that one.
Just,
Yeah.
and you were just honking at anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
You'd
Cause
have been
also when
so.
they left you, like when you were real little, then they're not like leaving you with the car running, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, you just
I used to
leave
get. I
it.
used to do the same shit. I used to pull that shit and try to move and see if I can get the car to move.
Yeah. I remember one man, them old keys, it was so hard to start a car.
Mm-hmm.
Like like when we were young, like them old, like my dad had a Chevy. And like I remember one time I don't know if he just wanted to see if I could do it or if he
Mm-hmm.
really was gonna let me drive the car, but I couldn't even turn the key. I didn't even have enough muscle yet to like get that metal key turning.
Yeah. No, you had to be a man.
Yeah,
Like you,
yeah.
you had to be a man. You had to have that wrist strength and everything to like. No, I'm glad cars changed for kids, right? It makes it so much easier for kids to drive. Now all they
They're
got to do is
crazy
push a
easy
button.
now, like a push start, and then you
Fareed,
could
you
you
got to
could do
turn your
some
mic off.
damage before like you even realize the key's not in the car. You could already be out the space and in the street or something.
Yeah, no, somebody stole our car And we didn't even have to, like, our keys were close because we were on the first floor, and somebody stole our car just because of, I guess it was close enough to our apartment where it was still in rain. So all that person did was fucking open the door and push the button and pull right off.
I have a Tesla, so like my phone's the key now, which is wild. It's like now I gotta unlock my phone to unlock the car.
All the shit. Oh shit. What made you get a Tesla?
Just gas prices, and also somebody stole the catalytic converter off my Prius and killed my Prius, and so it
Damn.
just was like yeah, there's no catalytic converter on a Prius, so.
Yo, did you grow up with the type of parents that, like, if you got in a fight and you came home after that fight and you lost, would they comfort you or send you back outside until you won?
I didn't really get in a fight.
You never got in a fight when
Not
you're
not
younger?
for real. Not for real. I've been talking about it in my hour about how, like, you know, I'm past my best fighting days and I didn't even realize it. But yeah, I got into like one thing, but it wasn't even. Yeah, I
It was
never
more
really
of a
been in a real
scuffle. It
fight.
was
It was
more of
more
like
of a
a
scuffle. Yeah.
no punches were thrown or anything. Do you like, how'd your family react to that? How old were you and how'd your family react to it?
It was after school. I didn't. No one got in trouble, so it wasn't even a thing. But yeah, I don't know. I I do think avoiding fights informed a lot of my personality, though. Like a
How
lot of
so?
the humor comes from diffusing a lot of, trying not to offend, trying, like like
Hmm.
like comes from not wanting it to go that far.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I feel like most comics are here because of that, right? It's not that you didn't even, it's not even that you couldn't fight. It's just that you were like, I'd rather spend my time moving through life not fighting. So I'm going to just be funny.
Yeah.
Let me just figure that. Cause yeah. But that first fight you got into, did your parents know? Did you even tell them?
I think they knew that something happened, but also it was one of those, like, it got broken up well before
It got
anything
real.
happened. Yeah, yeah.
Good for you. Were you like, thank God?
I
Whew.
got hit. I mean, I got hit a couple of times, but it wasn't like a
Nigga, that's a
fight.
fight. Yeah, if you got hit, that's a fight. So you got hit and didn't hit back. You said hit a couple of times.
I don't like describing it like that. I mean,
Yo, but that's how you gotta describe it. You said
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't a fight, and then you went, I got hit like three times. Getting hit three times. That's a
No.
one-sided fight, but it's still a fight.
Well, I didn't want to get suspended. I'm like, I don't know. I never wanted to get in trouble. Like this kid hit me, bust my lip, trying to
Yeah.
steal my fitted one time in high school. But
Uh,
also, like, my lip wasn't in the best shape. My lip was pretty chapped that day already, and so
so
it's like it's
it, it was like anything could have made it bleed.
anything could have made
Yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
then when he realized he bust my lip, like he kind of like ran off or whatever. And
Mm,
so then, but I kept my hat.
yeah.
And then telling my friends at lunch the story made them laugh so much. Like that was one of the first feelings of like getting a big laugh.
Damn, I can't remember my first big laugh as a kid where you're just like, holy shit, like this is powerful. I can't remember that.
Yeah. presenting, did you ever get any laughs like doing a group project or something or presenting?
Oh yeah. That's where I shine. I didn't put no other work in except presenting
Right,
that shit.
right.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like I'm
like
like,
y'all
look,
bring the
I
work and then I'm gonna make magic happen when I get up
yeah.
there.
That was my public speaking was my strong suit. Even though I'm like, I still stutter and everything now, but that's just something I love doing. I remember like in English classes, like always like opting to like read a poem or something out loud because that would be my saving grace. That would kept me from being a D student. The fact that I
hmm
was willing to be like, yo, I'll do it. I'll stand up in front of class. So I guess the likability is the reason I passed anything.
we always my middle school was brand new and they were super into technology. Um Brown Middle School is in the West End. Little baby went to middle school there, like afterwards. Um, but yeah, they were super into technology, and so they would always have us do PowerPoints and stuff. And then I would always put like my pictures would always be related
Mm-hmm.
to it, but it would be kind of an abstract choice. Like it would always like get a reaction like, all right, this picture is not a part of, the story,
Yeah,
but it's funny. Like it's the connection is funny.
yeah. Did your parents have like weird rituals? Were they like superstitious or anything? Like for example, like if somebody swept your foot, did you have to spit on the broom?
I learned about all that at school. I didn't know anything about uh yeah, spitting on brooms and all that type of stuff.
They have no superstitions. You didn't even throw the salt over the shoulder.
No, all
They
that
just
all that
believed
I
in God
learned all that I
wholeheartedly.
learned from other kids' parents and stuff. Yeah.
I feel like superstition is like just in case you don't believe in God all the way, you're gonna believe in some other shit, right? Because if you believe in God and everything, you don't give a fuck about splitting the pole, right? Like
Maybe
if you
splitting a
believe in,
pole, maybe I
you
feel
think
like
God gonna curse you because you split a pole, or that you fucking, you get what I'm
also where
saying?
are the bounds, right?
Yeah,
Like so we're walking and then if I split a pole, is that a problem? What about a street sign? What about a tree? What
yo,
about
but
one of them
technically
little
a street sign
trees
is a
with the
pole though.
elastic that's holding up the tree? You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah, I think you can split trees. I don't know if you can split trees, but a stop sign is still technically a pole.
like at
Or
the I've been
if
splitting poles at the picket, and I have been looking to see who is gonna freak out.
you
Like at Warner Brothers, there's so many poles. It's like, yo, you can't walk around without splitting a pole.
but I think there should be a limit. I think if you're taller than the pole, then it doesn't count. You can split
Okay,
shit that you're taller than. But
okay.
if it does that make sense? Is that a good
hmm
argument?
I don't know. I mean, some of them are ridiculous. Step on a crack, break your mom's back. I feel like that's been disproven.
Yeah, my mom back strong after the life she lived. My mom got a strong ass back, so yo, what was like eating like in your house? What was like family dinners like? Were y'all like
uh,
the TV dinner type family? Like did you just pop some shit
no.
in the microwave or y'all sat at the table and y'all
Sat at the
talked and
table like that was very important. Yeah, it was rare to like like something crazy had to happen for us to like be in front of the TV, like you know Super Bowl Sunday or something. Like yeah, it had to
Was
be it had
TV
to be
off
important.
during dinner though? Could you watch TV from the table or that shit was off and y'all just listened to each other's smack?
Pretty much from '96 on, we had a TV in the kitchen,
Mm.
and it was it didn't have a box. There was no cable box in the kitchen, so it was limited. But we did have cable, and it was like in the kitchen. So
Did your
um,
family steal the cable or they paid for it flat out?
they paid for it. They paid for it. They always had cable. My dad had satellite early on,
Mm-hmm.
and he had one of them big satellite dishes.
Which
Um,
one? It was like Dish Network or no Direct TV, John.
I don't even know if though like what he had made it to like when we were even. I mean, this is like late '80s, early '90s, like a big
Mm.
like you could if you saw the size of that dish, you'd be like, oh, he's definitely broadcasting from
Yeah,
in
he
here,
runs a
like
small
one of them
news network.
huge like
Yeah.
panels and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, when DirecTV came out with the little joint, he was so pissed. I think that's
Mm.
why we ended up getting cable because he was just mad that he spent like so much money on this thing that doesn't even matter anymore.
Your family didn't steal nothing? Like they didn't like all right, they paid for cable, but there was nothing with us like we ain't paying for that shit.
They'd buy an occasional bootleg movie. That might
Mm.
be it. Occasionally,
How did they
somebody would
act when they
come
were doing it?
in
Were they like,
Taco
don't you tell
Bell
nobody?
and sell them a movie. And then when we got to the age when we were like talking and asking for bootleg movies,
Mm-hmm.
then it was like we didn't get any more bootleg movies after that. We would just have to miss out.
Oh, why were they against the bootleg? Was it like they thought they were doing something wrong?
They
I
were
think
embarrassed. Like my parents were like they were on the uh don't sign up for free lunch.
what?
We're
Yeah?
proud. We don't need that. Like they were trying to be with the upper crusty of Atlanta.
Yeah.
They were yeah, they weren't trying to be they worked hard and they were proud and they didn't want to be uh so yeah.
Associated. You get to say crusty. You can be like, yo, they wasn't trying to fucking be with the crusty people. I'm
Yeah,
not
but like
offended. My
we
family
would but it
loves
would
a good
we
old handout.
it was so funny because like I would have teachers that would
Mhm.
be like, you have to turn this in, this is mandatory. And my parents would be like, oh, we don't have to do that, and it would be a thing like my teacher would be like, everybody, like everybody that hands this in gets candy or something, like trying to incentivize the
And
kids
your
who
parents will be like,
needed
we
to
buy
do
your
it.
own candy.
Yeah.
Yo, I fuck with your parents. I'll be that type of parent now.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cause you don't know what it feels like to have a handout. That shit feel as a kid is so embarrassing, yo. And especially in the school situation, because it was
Even free
never
lunch.
private. Even free lunch. It was never it's like free lunch. Here's the thing. In high school, once I got to like 11th to 12th grade, like people let some of that cool down, right? Because then they're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna eat these nuggets. Because the free lunch was better than the pay for a lunch. Because when you pay for lunch in our school, all you got was like a slice of Elio's type pizza. You remember that little microwavable shit?
Mm-hmm.
Elio's and all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff, the square. You got that, and then you can get like a Mystic or a bag of Doritos or something like that. And it's like, yo, for the shit you paying for, you can get a whole plate of nuggets and French fries for free. So everybody was like, yo, we just go get some nuggets and fries. So yeah, 11th to 12th grade, everybody was eating free lunch.
Well, like,
But I'm
okay.
talking about handouts. Like I used to like in middle school and shit. Like the families that I live with, some of them will be like dirt poor, like goddamn, like welfare card ain't even enough. Like they maxing that shit out. They maxing out fucking access and food stamps. So we used to get like donations from the schools and shit. And when you get a donation from the school, they call you to the office. And now, like you, like people want to know, like what you in the office for? What they call you to the office for? And like, and if they know you ain't cursing out people and fighting, they like, oh, what's that? Oh, they gave you a box of cans or some food and shit. So it was always embarrassing to be caught out. And there's only like one or two students that are there, and now we getting like free clothes and shit. So I hated that Cause that's just letting everybody know you fucked up. We just trying to keep that shit on the low. You get what I'm saying? It was virtue
I
signaling
get
for
what
the
you're
school,
saying.
but
I mean,
embarrassing for the
like
kid.
my the thing is, if you knew your lunch number, you ain't had nothing to keep up with. Like when you prepaid for, when my
Mm-hmm.
parents would like bring it like bring us to school with a check and prepay for lunch for the month or prepay lunch for
Mm.
like the week, and then
Mm.
but then we'd have to keep up with a lunch card or keep up with a record and that type of stuff. um
Oh.
but then like in high school, if you had free lunch, you waive your application fees for college, you didn't have to pay for the SAT. Like there was all kind of incentives, and there was so many other kids who were doing better than our parents that would lie, get
Yeah.
the free lunch, like just take it.
Mm. I didn't
What
think
are you
about
doing?
that. I would have been yeah, I just did it just to do it. I got a plan. I got a plan. I got a plan, but right now in that plan, I feel like the rest of these books are mine. That's how I
Okay,
feel.
all right.
That's how I feel.
You
So
could
I'm like, all right,
you could have them. We need one more.
yeah, you whooping my ass. Let me see. Oh, I gotta wait. It's your turn. All right. Let's see. Boom.
Okay,
All right, that's me.
cutting pretty
Uh
high.
shit, you're right. I didn't have to cut that high. I'm learning though. I'm learning though. I'm learning. But do I start off high? I have to start off high because only one of y'all got. All right, that's me. I may lose this one.
Yeah, I might take
So
this
what
one.
spades?
Okay, your partner came through.
Oh, was spades a game that you grew up playing with your family? Like, did y'all play a lot of card games and shit? Like, I
We
was.
played card
Yeah, go ahead.
games. We played dominoes. We played this game with dominoes called Chicken Feet, which was
Chicken feet.
yeah, it's like you gotta try to get like sets of threes, and then if you got doubles, then you can you're trying to make like shapes kind of like a chicken feet or whatever. And you start off with like the two 12s in the middle. Everybody goes around that has like an end on it that has a 12. And then when somebody gets a double, they say chicken feet, and then you can only put stuff that's connected to that double.
Yeah, that seems
Um,
complicated.
it's actually simpler than regular dominoes, and
Mm.
it's more kid friendly and more like large group uh friendly. But yeah, we'd play bingo. We'd play like auto bingo on car trips. We went on a lot of car trips.
Yeah, what type of vacations y'all took as a kid? As a kid.
My dad's from Louisville, Kentucky, so we would go there most Christmases, most summers. Um, and then my mom's mom lived in Coy, Alabama, which is near Camden, Alabama, which is near Montgomery, Alabama, to let you know like how far removed of a place you've heard of it is.
Yeah,
So out
that's
like
very
out on
removed.
on a literal farm.
Mm.
And then so we would go there like spring break and stuff. But then when my dad started getting this job where he was traveling, then we would go with him to Mississippi, to like near the Gulf of Mexico. We'd go to Chicago. We'd go to New York. We'd go to Cleveland. Just wherever
Mm.
he was um, that week. If it aligned with like when we were out of school, we'd go with him. St. Louis one year, but yeah, so we got to travel a lot, and I feel like a lot of me hitting the road doing comedy and feeling comfortable, just like checking in hotels and that aspect of comedy I was
Mm-hmm.
super comfortable with just because of that experience. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I used to like when I got older, I hated it. I hated like I felt like everybody got into all the mischief and all the crazy stuff happened winter break, summer break, and I could never just be with you know
With your friends.
with my friends or even like get closer with my friends. Like we got it back to school one year and it was like, oh yeah, Jeremiah got drunk. He was cracking up in the back of the car, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it was crazy. And I was like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Did you
I always
develop
felt like
like
I missed something.
FOMO?
Yeah, for sure.
Does
For
that
sure.
still follow you to the day, or how do you deal with? Did you deal with that, or does it still affect you?
I have a a little bit. Every like whenever I see stuff and it's a lot of comics or something, I have a little FOMO.
Mm.
It happens. Plus,
Wait, did
I
I
know,
want to?
like I always feel like if I was there, it would be fine. Like it wouldn't be an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I see parties and stuff, and I'll be like,
Yeah,
if I was there, it wouldn't
it
be
wouldn't be
like,
that popping. They caught the right angle at the right time. You know, it's like your angle makes it look popping, or this clip you created make it look popping. You're
yeah,
like, if I
yeah.
was there, it wouldn't have been that dope. I get that. Yo, so I want to lean in on this friend thing. So when did you feel like you started like building relationships with your friends? Then was it like like college, where you were like,
Really,
yo, now I can be here for these moments?
college, yeah. But then I had like a thing, and I've been talking about it in my hour, uh, about how like I um I had a friend that kind of betrayed me and kind of like I kind of lost trust for people for a minute, and I think some of that like loner and being comfortable doing stuff on my own just comes out of necessity and out of feeling like I didn't have many friends. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember like my sister had a birthday party one year
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, if I had a birthday party, no telling who would show up, you know?
Ooh.
Like there was this girl in high school and I would go to her locker like every day freshman year. Like after class, before I went to
Like
my
what?
locker.
Regardless if she was there or not, like would you just
No,
be
no, no,
waiting
no,
for her at the
no, no,
locker?
no, no, no. No, I would go and we would talk, but I would talk to
Oh, okay.
her at her locker,
Yeah.
And then the next year she had a Sweet 16 party and she didn't invite me.
Ooh.
And so yeah, it was like I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, that was like messed up, because it's just
Yeah.
yeah, like I
But did she have a good explanation?
well, she tried to hit me with the like, uh, you know, it's a, it's a limited amount of people that can come. It was like
You should be on
you
the limited
invited
amount.
you invited seniors and all kind of people that you don't really know that well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew her since middle school, and then you know,
Was that
yeah,
like was that a look into like how popularity works or how people try to go about getting popular? Because that seems like that type of move. Like to invite people
right,
that she's not cool with like that seems like she was trying to raise up her social class, like her,
yeah,
her social
yeah.
stock or whatever you want to call it.
And people just want to party, you know,
Mm-hmm. So they'll
and
go
it
anywhere.
yeah, they'll go anywhere. So they're like, all right, cool, But yeah, that was
Did you
I don't know.
did you ever have to go to a birthday party at McDonald's, or did you ever have a birthday party at
I
McDonald's?
had my fourth birthday party was at McDonald's.
Was it? How
And
was it? How's the Atlanta McDonald's for birthday parties?
this was in Florida. This was in
Oh, that Florida birthday party.
yeah,
My bad.
this was in
They're in Silver
Florida.
Seven.
But I mean it was straight. I didn't have an issue. I don't know. Like my relationship with McDonald's is different. Like I love McDonald's. Like
For what I don't, the only thing that got me out of liking McDonald's is once I was like, all right, I gotta take better care of myself. Like, can't be eating
yeah.
fast food. But McDonald's has been clutch for all communities, from upper class to lower class. Because I've seen upper class people fucking still
Oh,
scarf a burger, and then lower class like McDonald's, they care about black people, right? Fucking
365 black.
365. Come on now.
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
we didn't have no characters come or nothing. I remember I had a Batman Returns cake, and
Ooh.
I think there was only like one black kid that I knew, and like he didn't even live in our neighborhood. It's just my
Wait, so all your friends were white, like growing up?
yeah, all the kids I knew were white or like Puerto Rican
Mm.
in that area. Yeah, until I was 7. Then I get to Atlanta and like everyone's black. Like
How was that switch?
principal, doctor, police, like everybody's black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
How was that switch though? How'd you like deal with that? Oh shit, you ain't even playing no more.
oh. Oh wait, what happened to me? How'd I
They
get at
got
a
me in,
different table?
I don't know. They got me in here with somebody named Mike. But wait, how did that switch happen?
These
You went from being in this environment where everybody's white and Hispanic to
everybody's
just
white.
being like,
The
yeah,
one girl
on
that I think is black is, actually brown. Uh,
okay.
in my first grade class, I'm like, yo, she's black. My parents like, nah, she's.
She Indian the whole time.
um,
Did you have to learn any like was there like a culture shock? Like I know you grew up in a black household, but
right.
now that you're going to an all black school and dealing with just like predominantly black people, did you feel like you had to readjust or was it just natural?
I didn't think of it any type of way. I mean, I was excited to be around other kids that were like me, and
Hmm.
like, I didn't really think about some of the things that I did being different, and I don't think I even expressed to other kids that I was from a different, you know, place or whatever. Like I think
Mm.
I think they just knew me as like the new kid or a kid. He came here from Florida, but I don't think I expressed like the demographic differences. But when it was time for Black History, I was so into it. Like
Yeah.
when we learned about slavery, when we learned about civil rights, like I was eating all of that up, and it hasn't been until I've gotten older that I realized, oh, I was probably so into it because I was we talked about Rosa Parks one day,
Hmm.
and then that was it. My
Yeah.
old school, and now it's like every day in February we're learning about somebody. We're doing the ABCs of Black History Month, and like
Yeah.
yeah, I was super into it. And then every now and then in Atlanta we'd get that speech about
Hmm.
how the stuff that they don't tell you in the book,
Hmm.
or like they're not gonna tell you what really happened to Martin Luther King, or they're not gonna tell you, you guys gonna get out here around these people. They're not gonna tell you, it'd be all this kind of stuff, and I would eat that stuff up too.
Yeah. That is hilarious. See, I
Hmm.
didn't get that because, yeah, no, we didn't get that. Like, my education was back and forth between public school and group homes. And group homes, we just play Uno all day. So I didn't
Really,
learn shit about Black history. And then,
man.
yeah, and then when I went to the all black schools, I'm saying all black. Like, it wasn't all black on purpose. It was just all black because it was just like that. But
Right.
when I
Right.
went to those schools, I had some teachers who cared and some teachers who didn't give a fuck. Like, I remember like the first time out of group home going to regular public school, and our teacher was teaching us Swahili. Like, she wanted
Mm-hmm.
us, like, alongside of doing like the Pledge of Allegiance. As soon as the Pledge of Allegiance was over, she made us do like some Swahili prayer. And it was because she didn't believe that we should be pledging allegiance to America. So, like, a bunch of little black kids over here doing this shit. She thought it was some pimp shit, but she would never say it. She would just, like, I can pick up on it on her actions. But she was like, y'all also need to know this. So we do like the Swahili prayer and all that shit. And then I thought that's how school was, so what's going to be from here on out. And then I moved foster homes and then went to another school, and it wasn't like that at all. It was the first time you had the teacher that was just like, just in the back on a like equivalent to being on the phone. Like, they were just fucking doing Sudoku or whatever was in the newspaper, and kids just arguing and fighting all the time. And I was like, oh shit.
Man.
And then from there on out, that was what most of my school experiences were. It was just teachers who were just chilling and kids who were just fighting each other. And then at the end of it, we got graded. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I got graded on. On my fighting skills? Wait,
That's
are you still
wild.
playing with these robots?
I mean, they going way faster.
Than I was. All right. A couple more questions. I'll let you go
Okay.
because we cut it up. So that's I asked you a bunch
Oh,
of questions.
dope, dope.
That's
Yeah.
why it's like that's why I'm just asking you questions out of whatchamacallits. I asked you a bunch of questions and then we take the ones that I'm like, oh, this was a funny response or this was an insightful thing. So your parents didn't hit you. They didn't beat your ass
I
or
got
nothing.
whippings. I got whippings.
But like they like the
I
way
don't see.
you make it
I don't
sound like
like
it
the
ain't like
assumptions, dog.
I don't
Like
feel like you got your ass whooped.
I got hit with a belt.
Yeah, but like
I got hit with
how
like a. My dad was a sales rep for
mm-hmm,
paint companies. A lot of paint stirrers in the house.
mm-hmm.
I would get hit with those
Oh, you get
with
the little wooden Johns?
yeah wooden spoon. You
What age
know,
did it stop though?
probably when I was like running, shaking my mom and stuff. Probably like 13, 14.
Oh wow, that's longer than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought because here's the thing, and that's my fault because I started to like put your own life together in my head. I assumed that since your parents were older parents don't really whoop ass. If they're giving you freedom, if they're giving you that much freedom, what would they whoop you for? What
Well,
was
the
you getting
freedom
beat for?
comes from like a foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like timeout was a thing, but then when timeout didn't work, it was like
Which if
whoopings,
so, what did they
grounded,
what they beat
like
you for
everything.
though? What they beat you for? Like, what was Rob Hayes doing? You seem well adjusted.
Uh,
I can't ever really see you
Me and my
stepping out of
sister
line.
would get into it.
Mm-hmm.
We would fight over everything, the remote, the front seat,
Mm.
what like just stuff little kids care about, and just and then after a while it was like I don't even care about the front seat as much as I don't want her to think that she could just run stuff. You know what I'm
Start
saying?
fighting for
Like it's more
dominance. Yeah.
about like dominance. It's more about like other kids seeing me get in the back seat. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I don't want people to think that she's just running stuff, you know? And then like the remote, it was constantly having to compromise. I want to watch Rap City. She want to watch The
mm.
Smart Guy. She want to watch, like she
Yeah.
like or even Stevens or something that I don't even, like so now, yeah, that was like the biggest point of contention. But then it's like, if she already got the remote, what you gonna do? Ground me? I'm already
Yeah.
not watching my shows. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
already not watching direct effect. Like, yeah,
Yeah. You just got your ass whooped for discrepancies.
yeah, yeah.
Do you still
Um,
fight with your sister? Did that stop you from fighting with your sister?
we're so close now. I feel like it
So the
brought us
ass whoopings just
together.
brought y'all together.
Yeah, yeah. That and then like when we lived in East Point,
Mm,
um, like we had this huge yard. Atlanta's full of trees. And it was just like so many pine cones and like different stuff, like leaves and stuff.
mm.
And I don't think we ever got the yard with the way it was
Y'all
supposed to
wanted
look.
to. Yeah.
Like
He
I
had
don't
a,
think we
did your dad have a
ever
vision?
he had a vision, but there was also no game plan to achieve this vision. Like it was just like we would be out there hours and between weeds and pine cones and different like it would take so many professionals to get that yard together. And so that
God
would be
damn.
like a big thing. I would always get in trouble because it's like, you know, you only cut the front part of the grass. You ain't cut like it was like, yo, it's a death trap to try to cut grass like poison
Yeah.
ivy, rocks,
Yo,
like
a
pine
rock.
cones. Like it was nuts, you know?
You ever had that goddamn rock shoot out and hit you in the leg? Or that weed
Yeah.
whacker shit?
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah. Yeah,
dude.
man. Yeah.
That's ass whooping
And
enough.
then my sister not cutting grass at all. She
But
gets
how'd
off
she get
scot
away with it?
free.
What she had to do something.
She's a girl, so they don't have her doing, you know, like she don't get in trouble for yard work. If she does yard work, then it's a plus. Then it's like, you know, look at that. She out there helping. But me, I'm supposed to be a landscaper just out of nowhere. I'm
Yeah.
12. I'm just supposed to I'm just supposed to know how to just put a whole yard together or care. You know what I'm saying? Like we can throw the football around pine cones or not. Like
Yeah.
you know, I don't even care. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's how you develop your skills. Like if you weren't twisting your ankles on loose rocks and pine cones and slipping on leaves, then how
Mm-hmm.
were you going to get good? So you
Yeah.
needed those things in the yard. It was like the combine. You know what I mean? Because Philly had yards too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
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 I
yeah,
think a
yeah.
lot of people like traveling. You learn like, oh, everybody doesn't grow up with a
Mm-hmm.
yard, and then some people associate a yard with money. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nah,
they see they think yard and they're like, well, you had to have a finished basement. You probably had, you know what I'm saying? Like all
mm-hmm.
this stuff, and it's like, no, like people got yards. People got yards out here, but still, you know, it could go down.
Yeah, it's dead grass. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to
Mm-hmm.
judge like you
Mm-hmm.
got to judge a neighborhood like that based on how well they keep their yard. If the yard is nice, you're in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
If majority of that block got brown patches and just random shit laying in their front yard, it's the hood.
That's what killed me about like John Morant. They were like, look at this backyard, blah blah blah. Man, he comes from money. And I'm like, y'all don't see this grass?
This grass dead as
This
shit.
hey, this might be a hood, y'all. I don't know, you know, I don't know about that. Just because they got
Yo.
on matching polos, they not playing polo. They there's a rough looking grass back there, you know?
No, I experienced that shit. There's so much mud.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
Mm-hmm.
a mud ratio, right? I'm like, yeah, how much did I don't know. I'm trying to think how much dead grass and mud do you gotta have before your area is considered low income?
We had a carport at one time, and my job was to sweep out the carport instead of a
Garage? What do you
garage.
mean
Well, a
carport?
garage just got a door and a cover and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Carport is just like a cover, but you know, like the sides, you know, are open,
I ain't
the
never seen
front
that.
is open. And so my job was to keep that clean because there's no storage. You can't keep
Yeah,
anything in a carport. You know, you put a
yeah.
basketball in there, somebody gonna be walking down the street with your basketball. You know, like you just
I gotta Google that. I do not know what a carport look like. I've never seen that. Either you had garages or a lot.
Yeah. Um. If you Google it, it's gonna look kind of tinish. I'm trying to think of what one looks like that's kind of built into the house. But yeah,
I don't know. I'm going back to you having money, Rob. You grew up with money. Nah, fucking
I
shit.
I I I was all right, but also like in where I grew up, we were in the middle.
mm,
Like
like
we were
middle
in the
class.
middle.
That's
Like
like,
there were other kids that the houses they grew up in were crazy. Like 2 story, 3 story. You know, their
mm-hmm,
parents got a new Benz. Their parents got a they got a car the minute they turned 16. There were those kids. There were also I went to public school with other kids. They were in their
mm-hmm.
apartments. There was other kids that were, they were like every type of situation imaginable. Like the movie Safety about
Mm-hmm.
the kid that went to Clemson that was raising his brother while he was playing college football. He
I
went to
don't
my
know
high
about that one.
school.
Damn. Now you got two. You got what's the name? Offset. You said went to your middle school.
Little baby.
Oh shit,
Offset's
little
from the
baby.
north side by
Mm.
the Atlanta Comedy Theater.
No, I didn't. I just thought you said nobody live up there.
I
Like,
mean, that's why they say the North that way. That's why they say that
oh,
because
that's
it's
what they're
like
saying.
it's
They're like
up
that
there.
way.
That's why they
Oh, okay.
never say they from Atlanta. They say we from the North because they
Yeah,
the
because I was
first
looking. I'm
they
like,
the
wait,
first people to come from there and like make it. As far as hip hop. So
yeah.
they really rep the North. They don't even it's kind of like Game of Thrones. Like they just call it the North that way
Beyond the
up there.
wall. They're like,
Yeah,
yo, it's
yeah,
beyond the wall, yo.
they're wildlings for sure.
Yo, what's the most embarrassing thing your family has ever done to you?
The most embarrassing thing my family's ever done to
Not even
me.
done to you that you was a part of in your family.
Hmm. That's I'm trying to think.
Like I remember, for example, I remember being spanked in public, like pants down, cheeks out. And I was like 9. That's way too old to have your cheeks out.
Dang.
Those are almost teenage cheeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like my sister had some public whoopings. I don't think I ever got like a public whooping. Uh, hmm. I don't know. They used to have us in some goofy like sweatsuits and stuff.
Like that. Wait, what's goofy about sweatsuits? Me and my sister used to be killing that shit, like the matching Johns.
Right,
Oh,
right.
that's
But then after a while, it's like if you go through a growth spurt and
oh, and
you
they get all high
still, you know what I'm
watery.
saying? And like,
Damn.
yeah, everybody else is like they, FUBU, they got on, you know, different stuff. They got on jean sets and stuff, and you still
Yeah.
out here with the swish
With
swish.
the swish swish or the bugle boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember bugle boy? Is it bugle boy or how do you say that shit? I think it is bugle.
My
Bu-
my dad refused to buy into the concept of a skateboard helmet.
So
He
you just
he
out here just raw
bike
dogging it?
helmet, bike helmet. You gotta wear a helmet if you want to be out here doing extreme sports. Only kid with bike helmet. Also, didn't even find my size. Didn't even get like one to like go on my head. So I got this like super loose helmet, loose bike helmet on my head. I feel like I don't even see bike helmets anymore. I think everybody that
Yo,
rides
no,
a
I
bike
gotta.
just knows what they're doing now.
No,
It's been a
I still
minute.
got a bike helmet.
Yeah.
I still got a bike helmet. Hell
You
yeah.
seem like you would have a helmet as an adult riding a bike.
You gotta. Oh, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's because I care. That ain't no nerdy shit. And you gotta care. Also, I have broke my face
It's
during the
people
pandemic.
it's people delivering food that don't even got a helmet on.
Nah, I care about my
And they on
life.
the clock.
Cause I wear my helmet now. Like before, I used to be in and out. Like I would like
Yeah.
sometimes I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna just keep it on my backpack or whatever. But when I got into my accident, I definitely made sure like anytime after that, I was
Mm.
definitely gonna have a helmet on. Cause that shit, I broke my face, but when I looked at the
I
helmet,
forgot about
that
that.
indent in the helmet was so deep that I'm like, that helmet, at least it saved my life.
Damn.
Yeah. That shit,
Wow.
all this shit was broken up. So I'm gonna wear a helmet now, nigga.
You
I
still
just don't
biking?
wear. Hell yeah, I ain't no bitch.
That's hey,
You
some
still
people would
gotta.
stop. Some people would be like, you
Nah.
know what? Hey, I learned my lesson. I'm out the game.
The lesson is, well, it was a scooter accident. So the lesson is, don't buy janky shit. Like spend some money and buy some like top of the line shit. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But I'm still out in these streets.
Okay.
I'm still out in these streets. I got a bike with bad brakes on it.
Okay.
Yo, if your family was a sitcom, what network would they be on?
Oh, my family definitely would be on like ABC.
Yeah,
Like after the Hughleys, my wife and kids, we'd fit in with that. According to Jim,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot
George
about According to Jim.
Lopez, yeah. That era of ABC, yeah. I
Hmm.
don't think we'd be on UPN.
Yeah.
I think
Nah,
I
you
would.
don't think
I
y'all
think
black
my
enough for
cousins
UPN?
would be on UPN. I think some of my friends from school would be on UPN, and I could be like somebody that comes over. But my
Yeah.
family, our sitcoms definitely ABC.
I mean, if you invited some of those cousins onto the show, maybe you get UPN.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, so you grew up in a so I'm trying to phrase this right. So now that you mentioned your cousins, it seems like did you have like members of the family that were about that life and that was street and your family was the black sheep? Or was it the opposite where most of your family is like everybody got their shit together and then they just had like that one family that just couldn't get it right?
I wouldn't say. I mean, there's an element of people about their life. There's also like uh you know, family members that were like in the streets that had stuff going on that had kids that my
Mm-hmm.
mom and her sister helped raise. And so there was a little like Bernie Mac esque situation happening,
Mm,
you know. But like and then, my cousins are just entertaining and just like like I don't know, they're just a
yeah.
different element that's there that wasn't at my parents' house, like
Did
yeah,
you
I
like
would.
did you go over your cousin's cribs a lot though? Like, did that riffraff attract you or did it repel you?
It was no. I think it attracted all of us. I think
Mm,
we all enjoyed being there, but also the ability to bounce, like the
yeah.
ability to be like, all right,
I
we'll
was like,
see
we had
y'all next
enough.
holiday. Hey, this Easter was amazing. Hey, we got this place to go.
Hmm.
Yeah, the food was great. Hey, we'll see y'all next time. Yeah.
Ah, shit. My family would have that. My family was that. My family, I love my family. Even though we didn't live together, when we did come together, it was always something. Even
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm. No, we had. I
But
mean,
that's how they operate.
we had a Thanksgiving one time and we had like 40 people come, and like people came from like other states and stuff, and that
That's a
that
lot
was
of people.
crazy. Like all
That's
the
a
kids
lot of
got
people.
getting together, running around, playing video games like that. That was epic. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the only time it's ever been that many?
That was the only time it's ever been that many at our crib. Yeah.
Anything went missing?
Nothing went missing. Of course, there was like some stains that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Somebody spilled something, didn't say nothing. You know, yeah. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
All right, well, I gotta make my verdict now, and you definitely ain't public property. Like your family, like I would definitely not put you in that category.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how the divorce affected you, but your family seemed fine. They
Yeah,
seem well
no, I
adjusted.
mean, in hindsight, I feel like it affected me. It affected my sister way more, just the age she was at. But yeah,
Mm,
yeah, but yeah, no, I was fine. I was, I wasn't the rich kid. I wasn't super spoiled. Didn't get everything I wanted, but at the same time, I,
yeah.
lived comfortably, and that never had to worry. Never had to, when I got a job, I didn't have to like chip in. You know,
Ooh, what? You didn't have to chip in. You got to save your money and spend it on
yeah, I
dumb
got to
shit.
save my money and do dumb stuff with it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a blessing. Yeah, man. Your family is perfect. Y'all like the Huxtables. What network was the Cosby's on? That's what you should be on.
They were on NBC.
NBC. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
y'all. That's some wholesome black family shit right there.
But see, but that's what kills me. Like it bugs me out. Like I did the champs, and Neil Brennan was talking about how the Huxtables weren't real black people, and I was like, I just felt like in my experience in Atlanta, there's plenty of you know
Mm-hmm.
examples of that. Like
Yeah,
our principal had a law degree. Like there was,
yeah.
all my principals from elementary school
We're
to high
qualified.
school were black.
Yeah.
Our my pediatrician was black. Like dentist was black.
Mm-hmm.
There were tons of examples of black professionals, of black upper class people, of black people that were, that
Mm-hmm.
socially motivated themselves and got to
Yeah.
like most Benzes per capita in Atlanta. Like
You
there's
said
tons.
most Benzes?
Yeah, like
Like everybody got a
there's
Benz.
nothing to see a Mercedes. Like yes, we'd see Big Gip. Yes, we'd see like the rappers and stuff, but we'd also see regular people. Everybody in Atlanta thinks they're a celebrity. So
Yeah.
like and I am fortunate. I have uh you know third generation to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who their grandparents went to college, so there are people that are in that Cosby age that were doing it and didn't look at the Cosby Show as this great fantasy and looked at
Mm-hmm.
it as a reflection of you know some
Of
people
them.
post civil rights.
Yeah. Yo, tell the people where they can find you, Rob. What you got coming up? What you
Yo,
working on, man?
shooting a special in Atlanta, August 11th. If you're in Atlanta, come through to the special taping. You'll see the hour. You'll see me talk about a lot of the things that we went over in this conversation. Also, I got a podcast called The Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze. It comes out whenever it comes out. It's all part of the brand. We do. And then another podcast talk about sports with Jamel Johnson called Through. And if you're in Toronto, I'll be at the Danforth Comedy Festival August 12th.
All right, yo, thank you once again, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
I
We
don't know
talked
if
for a
you
long ass
won
time.
one game of spades. I don't know if you won.
No, well, I think I won one.
I think it was like 500 to 50. It was, yeah.
Nah, it was like
It was
negative
never
35.
close.
It was negative 35 to fucking 50. But I thought you said the bags were good. The
No,
bags were bad?
no. The bags are reflective of bad bidding. The
Oh,
bags
shit.
is what you get when you win a book, and then and you didn't bid on it. So say
So
you bid four and
mhm.
you got five, you got one bag. You get 10 bags, you lose 100 points.
Yeah, no, I was trashed then. I stayed with an average of 5 bags. 5 bags. So I was trash. Yo,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.